That's a clown question, bro.
So I'm gonna kick some dirt.
He gets on base.
Just a bit outside.
I'm not the type of player that's going to be Johnny Hustle.
If you don't want me to watch the ball, you can go get it out of the ocean.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio, where we're talking baseball kind of whenever. I'm your host, Christian. Over there to my actual right, for the first time since October.
Since the World Series.
Since the World Series. Last time we were in person, we were talking about, Game 6, what potentially Game 6 of the World Series would look like, and a potential Game 7.
Yeah.
And, look how far we've gotten.
You didn't even say my name.
And over there to my right is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I mean, it's good to be back, obviously. But we've had a pretty big week, so I guess I'll just get right into it. Throughout the offseason, everyone's been paying attention to the guy, the number one pitcher on the free agent market. Where is he going to go? How is he going to make his decision? Who's going to break it? Not Bob Nightingale. How's it going to happen? And it has finally happened. Chris, Chasen Shreve is a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for the pin to drop for a while now. All I saw in Jeff Passan's replies was Chasen Shreve.
Announced Shreve to the Cardinals. Announced Shreve to the Brewers.
Chasen Shreve photoshops with Cubs, Mets hats. And he finally goes to, where a lot of people thought he would go, to Pittsburgh.
I mean, this is a team, like, we all know that they're trying to compete this year. I mean, they have incredible pieces like Anthony Alford in their starting lineup for next year. Cole Tucker, he had an incredible weighted on base average this season. They got pitchers such as Mitch Keller, who's going to be awesome for them this year. And now you add Chasen Shreve to that, and this has the looks of a super team. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, we didn't know we would get to this point in the sport of baseball. We thought this was more of a, basketball thing where you only need to put 5 guys on the court. They have 9, or I guess it would be 8 position players and, 5 starters and a deep bullpen that can, we're looking at a team that can break regular season, potentially postseason records.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even go into words, the amount of depth. I mean, Blake Cederland, especially 24-year-old pitcher coming up through the system, the amount of, guys that he's going to have to look up to now that Chasen Shreve is in this organization, it's going to be scary.
Yeah. I mean, when you have guys like that as your, 7th option.
Yeah.
You're looking at a you're looking at a dangerous team. And, we talked about how the NL Central a bit stagnant, but it's looking like far and away. We were thinking, the Cardinals might be able to contend with the Pirates this year after the Nolan Arenado trade. And then boom, the Pirates absolutely checkmate the rest of the NL Central.
Yeah, I mean, this division is a lock. I mean, it's right up there. I mean, I don't think we can really lock any divisions at this point in the offseason, but I am willing to do it for the Pirates in the NL Central. Yeah,
put 2021 NL Central champion Pittsburgh Pirates in stone.
Yeah.
You can do that right now.
Put it right in center field at PNC Park with the little grass bush area thing. Just pave it into the lawn. 2021 NL Central champs.
Yes, absolutely. And I think in other news, I think the Dodgers got this. They got a starter.
They did, yeah. What's his name? Travis
Bauer.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, and he's he pitched for the.
He's a YouTuber, I think. It's kind of weird that they signed a YouTuber when they need to focus on defending their title.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird little PR stunt that they're doing, trying to bring popularity back to the.
It's almost like
Dodgers.
It's almost like a satirical counter to what the Padres have been doing this offseason. It's like, oh, you got Blake Snell and you got Yu Darvish. Well, guess what? We're gonna go sign a YouTuber. You guys haven't done that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they were countering to what the Padres were doing because Yu Darvish is also a YouTuber.
That's true. That is a great point.
Very popular.
But he's also a pitcher.
Oh, that is right. But Bauer or Bauer, I believe his name is. I think he pitched in Little League.
He probably did. I mean, pretty much everyone did at one point. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. You know, we hope the Dodgers the best, but we're not thinking.
I
not really
definitely got a
thinking-
question what Friedman's doing here. I mean, $40 million a year.
Yeah.
In all seriousness,
It's quite a bit, but it is a 3-year contract.
it's a 3-year, $102 million contract. That is Mike Trout the only person with a contract with more AAV in the league?
Well,
I think he has to be, right?
Trout is 35.8. Cole is 36. It's just that Trout has 12 years.
Okay, so Bauer is going to be the most paid Bauer is going to be the highest paid Major League Baseball player in 2021 and 2022.
Likely, unless he opts out for less money.
Well, I mean, okay, but in 2021,
Yeah.
that is wild.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean it's very weird how this all transpired.
It is.
Bauer, now we're kind of out of character, but Bauer.
Yeah, I think that bit ran on as long as it could have.
Yep. Bauer, there was the history of, there was the bet with his friend that, he wasn't going to sign a multi-year deal. So you figured if he was going to sign a multi-year deal, he was probably going to sign something for 5 or more years, but still an odd deal, 3 years with opt-outs after the first and second
year. He could be a free agent every year of this contract.
Yeah. I mean, if he goes out and, posts another Cy Young type season, we could be doing this all over again next year.
Or better yet, 2 more years, because I believe the contract breakdown is $40 million 1 year, $45 million the next year, and then the rest in the 3rd year, which is not as much. So, if anything, the 2nd year opt out is probably the one you're circling on the calendar.
Yeah. And he is 30 now. So, if he goes on the market as a 31 or a 32-year-old, there's still plenty of money to be made. Probably not. He could still sign, a 4-year deal. I think Ryu signed a 4-year deal at the age of 32. So it's, very possible. And yeah, in all seriousness, the Padres kind of had a thing where it was looking like they, I wasn't going to say that they were going to win the division, but they definitely had
a fighting chance.
A fighting chance and a good shot. No one would be really shocked if the Padres, pre-Bauer signing, were going to win the NL West, but
it just got a whole lot harder.
It just got way, way harder, and the Dodgers are seriously looking like a super team.
Yeah, I mean, I find it amazing that they just don't care that the luxury tax exists.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Especially
they were over it. They signed Mookie Betts to a mega extension. They won the World Series, which would be an excuse to be all right, now you lay low. You cut a couple guys. Actually, we're going to sign the highest paid average annual value in the history of baseball. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it wasn't a necessary move.
No,
really.
It really was not. They were just oh, this guy's out there. Sure, we'll take him. What does he want? Oh, $40 million a year. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we'll slot him into the 3 spot, defending Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, I almost guaranteed he's not going to start on opening day.
Yeah, no way. I feel that's probably going to go to Buehler, right?
Buehler or Kershaw?
Yeah, possibly.
Because Kershaw is still a very valuable pitcher on that team.
Yeah, and they might give it to him, as an honorary thing after being able to get them to a World Series championship.
It's he broke the narrative. He's still a very effective pitcher. He's gonna the Dodgers are gonna have the little gold lettering outlining their jerseys. Put Kershaw on the mound for that.
Yeah, because
it's gonna be something like that.
Because especially opening day, it's not always about who the best pitcher is. It's just an honor for what you did the previous season,
especially in a World Series year.
Yeah, and Kershaw was that guy. 2017 with the Red Sox, Porcello won the Cy Young, so naturally he was going to get the start
over Chris Sale.
Over Chris Sale, who was consistently better over the previous few years, but Porcello was going to get that. But yeah, it's it's pretty crazy to see something like this. And Bauer's kind of interesting too, because he's had some ups and he's had his downs in his career, so it's kind of we'll see how it actually goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of concern on Twitter over the lack of like actual success throughout his career, like obviously his 2018 was awesome. His 2019, of course, was a major down year. And then in 2020, he goes out, wins the Cy Young, but it's in a shortened season where he doesn't face any good lineups because he's in the Central. And that was, the weakest of the three geographic, I guess, locations or bubbles rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
especially offensively.
Yeah. So like there is certainly a little bit of a concern with the lack of excellent performance on a long-term basis. But this is also not that much of a long-term deal. So I think the Dodgers are kind of hoping for like the best couple of years of his career, and maybe they dump him after that.
Yeah. Bauer is, since 2018, has the 13th highest B WAR for pitchers. So, I mean, like, it's, you don't really know what you're getting. I mean, there's also, Bauer also found some external sources possibly to increase his performance, which, good on him, because, they never really find that stuff. And, most of the league is doing that type of stuff. So it helped him out, it got him 100th percentile in spin rate. It helped him get a ton of, pop outs, weak contact, and, strikeouts, of course. But maybe the Dodgers had that in mind, thinking like, we don't want to risk a guy. When he suggested opt-outs, he was, they were probably like, oh yeah, for sure. And also, a 3-year deal, it's not that much of a risk, especially, with all the money that we have.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean,
can we talk about how this all went down?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think we need to. So what was it? Thursday or Friday of this week? Because he signed on Friday.
Yeah, he signed on Friday.
So I think this was Thursday.
Yep.
It was Thursday. I'm kind of just hanging out in my room, and I get a notification. Bob Nightingale, Trevor Bauer is in agreement with the Mets, and
they have a deal.
They have an agreement.
Yes.
Yes. And obviously the first thought is always, okay, Trevor Bauer just signed with the Mets, and Bob obviously, even before this, has the reputation of like, well, it's Bob, let's look for someone else. And people were already celebrating, and rightfully so. And then soon after, literally, I think it was 2 minutes after, Mark Feinsand tweets out, there is no agreement in place between the Mets and Trevor Bauer. So now it's like, okay, wait, what's going on? Who are we supposed to believe? And then Luba tweets out, Rachel Luba, Trevor Bauer's agent, tweets out, it's still down to 2 teams. There was no final decision yet. So Bob Nightingale got Mets fans a little excited early, and he lasted it was about 2 minutes of excitement for Mets fans.
Yeah, it was weird. And the Mets, at least on Twitter, were the most adamant about getting Bauer in the offseason. So it would have made a lot of sense. And, with the addition of actually the biggest off-season addition, Steve Cohen at bay with the Mets, there's a lot of excitement about that team. They picked up Bauer's former teammates, Carlos Carrasco and Francisco Lindor, and it would have made a lot of sense. The Mets have, endless money now at this point. But I don't know. I'm curious to see how the negotiations were, because obviously they weren't normal negotiations.
No.
It was he ended up signing for 3 years, 102. Maybe the Mets were offering like 6 years, but a lot less average annual value. I don't know.
Well, I think the Mets offer, it was reported that the Mets actually offered more money.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it was
money.
More total money. I don't know. I think it might have been more years as well. So I'm pretty sure Bauer took less money to go to LA. It might be a geographic thing, because I know a lot of people were theorizing he would want to go to the West Coast because, it's his home. He went to UCLA. He gets to do the Arizona spring training, so he can do those Bauer bites because spring training is much more accessible. But even, this year, you really don't know how much he'll be able to do that in, a national crisis.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a factor that actually played, and I don't think we'll ever know, because I'm sure he did give the Mets like an actual fair amount of consideration. And I'm interested to see if the Dodgers let him pitch every fourth day with the depth they have in that rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if that is a thing because the Dodgers have like 7 suitable guys in that rotation. They've got Bueller, Kershaw, Bauer, Arias, May,
Price, and Gonsolin. Yeah, and Bauer wants to go. I mean, honestly, like I think that could probably be better on the other guys because Bauer always, he takes analytics on his own body every day, and these analytics show that his body is actually more ready to go every fourth day. And I don't know if that means that everyone's body is like that. I don't know if it means just his, but you know what? If him going every fourth day means that the other pitchers in the rotation get more time to rest between starts, I think they'd all say, sign me up.
Yeah, it would
except for especially like Price and Kershaw, who have already established their careers and have already gotten paid. Maybe Bueller, May, Gonsolin, and Urias would be a little more shy about that. But I mean, that might just make everything easier for the Dodgers if he's actually able to do that.
Yeah, that is true. And like whenever that's brought up, it's so weird to me how it would be staggered out because if everyone else is on 4 days rest and he's on 3 days rest, I don't know how that could work because it's a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We might be seeing that especially if Bauer's performing at a high level. I
mean, if there's a time to experiment with this, it would be now because it's on a team where they have so many other guys they can go to if this doesn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's with a team where they probably have some flexibility because it's a team where you're probably going to win a lot of games.
It's that, and I mean, you only have one real competition in your division.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Every other team seems to be just waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I feel so bad for fans of the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Giants.
Yeah.
Except the Giants have actually had a very under the radar good offseason. I think they've and a lot of the good acquisitions they've made may just end up being trade bait.
Yeah, I mean they especially with getting the qualifying offer to
Kevin Gausman.
That was a big one. And
they signed Matt Whistler, who was someone who I was eyeing at the beginning of the offseason.
Yeah, they got La Stella too.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really think of anyone else, but they could result in some prospects if they end up getting to that point. Do you have anything else on Bauer? Actually, I had one more thing. I mean, credit to Rachel Luba. Like a lot of baseball Twitter has kind of been disliking her for reasons I can't argue, but she did a great job in this negotiation. She got Bauer a contract that we've never seen in baseball before. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're ever going to see it again. And it was credit to her. She did it.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Cause it is the deal, even though it's only $102 million, it's still pretty friendly to Trevor Bauer. There's not, especially, the argument against signing Bauer to that much money is, his Cy Young season was only a 60-game season. And, he had a somewhat rough or average total 2019. So there was a lot of argument of not giving Bauer anything he wants, but he still pretty much got what he wanted. 2 opt-outs,
They did.
About $40 million a year or close to it. What's the math on that? 102 divided by 3.
40 something.
It's 30 or 34, I think.
Okay.
34, 102 over 3.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but
I can't math.
Quite a bit of cash. Even though he's the Cy Young winner, he's 2 years removed from a season where he had a 4.4 something ERA.
Yeah.
So definitely good on Rachel Luba. From where the Dodgers are at now, how many wins do you think they're gonna accumulate over a 162 game season?
I would say like 106.
106. I'm kind of thinking they might be able to get to like 110.
Yeah.
Especially with the 3.
That would have to the only thing is that would have to mean absolutely everything goes right. And there is a lot of human error in baseball. Like someone gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know, is Justin Turner going to be at third? They're going to have Edwin Rios there.
Yeah, that's, they still have a project with Turner, but even with that,
Yeah.
like it could, especially with how bad the division outside the Padres is, maybe they're not all last place caliber, but they're not fantastic teams for sure. But yes, I think that's all we have on Bauer to the Dodgers.
So now we got Marcell Ozuna coming back to the Atlanta Braves. I think this solidifies the offseason for Alex Antopoulos. It's been weird because the Braves, they signed Drew Smyly and Charlie Morton in November, and they just went cold for the whole winter.
Yep.
And I was like, are they going to, I was thinking, like, are they going to do something? Are they going to do anything? And then finally, this was one of the more important moves for them to make. Marcell Ozuna back on a 4-year deal.
4-year, what was it, 65?
I think it was somewhere in that ballpark.
I think a $15 million option at the end.
Yeah. The one thing that concerns me about this is obviously, is he going to be DH? Because we still have no idea if there's going to be a universal DH or not. And it is 51 days until opening day on the day that this is being released. But you're going to get a really good hitter in the middle of your order to go along with Freddie Freeman, especially with a lefty-righty, platoon between them. Like it's, you're going to have to face one of them. So that's really tough for opposing pitchers to go along with Acuna, so go along with Albies. And it sort of just solidifies the offense that they had last year, which dominated.
And one thing with Ozuna, he signs for 4 years, $65 million. He's kind of similar defensively to a guy like Nick Castellanos, but he's also, from what we saw last year, probably better offensively. And Castellanos last year got a 4-year, $64 million deal. So definitely very similar type deals with those guys. So I think the Braves, it's a flip of the coin whether there's going to be a universal DH or not. I feel like, if it doesn't happen this year, it still could come into play
next year because the CBA expires after 2021.
Yeah. So the strongest possibility would surely be after this year. Because, the players like it, and, if the players like it, they're going to include it in their CBA, and it doesn't affect like the owners at all.
Not at all. Marcell Ozuna had he won a Gold Glove in 2017, and take this for what it's worth, his D-WAR has gone down in every year since.
Yeah. I'm surprised
I'm surprised it went down this year.
I'm surprised he won a Gold Glove.
He did. It was so weird. It was very, very weird that he did. But yeah, he won it in 2017, his last year in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're a DH, you naturally have negative D-WAR because you're not making any contribution, I guess. Because if you look at like David Ortiz's
it's bad
career stats, even though he barely played,
which is weird. Like it feels like you shouldn't be accumulating any D-WAR if you're DHing.
I guess since it's
like how can you be punished if you're not even trying?
Maybe because it's above or below replacement to
Probably.
like a regular player. So like
that's a good point.
A replacement level player
is at least doing something,
making plays.
Yeah,
like you're
even if they're above, even if that player like has negative like total zone or whatever, it's still they're still trying.
Yeah, still accumulating more than they have an
existent fielding percentage.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to judge DHs by wins above replacement, because they're really like, even though their defensive ability is, tanks their wins above replacement. I guess this is kind of inside baseball, but they're doing everything they can with offense. So it's kind of hard to, because, every at least American League team needs a designated hitter. So they're just kind of filling that role. But anyway, yeah, Marcell, this was.
I just wanted to get into a couple things.
Yeah, go ahead.
Every year, So since the StatCast era has started in 2015, he has been in the top 10 percentile of exit velocity in 5 of the 6 seasons. And the one was, I believe, 2016, where he was in the 81st percentile. So you're guaranteed, like, you know what you're getting from him, and you're going to get one of the best overall hitters in the entire league. You might not be able to make up for it on defense, but you have plenty of guys around him that can, compensate for his lack of defensive ability. Like Acuna is really good defensively. Markakis is still pretty good. Inciarte is, off the bench. He's very good defensively. If you need to give Ozuna a night off, and he's just going to mash. Like, it's going to be him and Freeman at the middle of the order after Acuna leads off with a home run. And I still think the Braves are the best team in the division. I know the Mets have done a lot of work. They got Trevor May. They got James McCann, guys like that. I still think Atlanta's the best team, and I think this solidifies it.
Yeah, and, what do you think about them not, passing up on signing a guy like Josh Donaldson to, a 4-year deal who, could have helped them at third, but rather signing Ozuna for 4 years, but also considerably less money.
Well, Ozuna's younger.
Ozuna is
because he's going into his age 31 season. Josh Donaldson is what, 33?
Yeah. So you're thinking this is
he's 35. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah,
that's why you don't do that. Plus, he's also no.
Yeah, and especially in this market, it's easier to sign Ozuna for that much.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, even Ozuna's down years are still pretty good. Like,
he just didn't fit in St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. Like Miami,
his worst season was basically was a 106 OPS plus, and that was as a developed player. Like 2015, he was 24, still trying to figure it out. He ended up with a 691 OPS, not great.
Yeah, and he fits better in Atlanta because he's surrounded by such talent that you can't skip his at bat.
Mm-hmm.
When he was in St. Louis, I guess in 2019 he had Goldschmidt, but 2018 there wasn't a lot there besides maybe Matt Carpenter.
Yeah.
So you could kind of stave off of him if they wanted to, but had an excellent season last year, finished 6th in the MVP as a
strict hitter.
And where did he rank in terms of OPS? We'll see here. He ranked 3rd in the NL in OPS.
There you go.
Last season. So yeah, basically.
And second on his own team.
Yeah, second on his own team. Shout out to the MVP.
I think it was him, Freeman, and Soto. Because Soto technically did qualify.
Soto barely qualified. He did. And yeah, that's the Ozuna trade. And another designated hitter got signed. This guy's been a designated hitter for much longer. And going into his age 41 season, I believe.
Yeah.
And actually, this was kind of surprising to us because, the entire offseason, we were like, the Twins are presumably losing Cruz. But then they get Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Twins signed Cruz.
And you didn't think he was signing now. You figured he was going to wait until the league figured out the DH situation. At this point, he was probably like, all right, I don't care. Just put me on Minnesota.
Yeah, there might be some inside info if both Cruz and Ozuna signed in the same week.
Oh, there has to be. Well, I mean, Passan said pretty quickly that, like, this is not going to end until like at least February. And it's February 8th. There is no sign anytime soon that we're going to get an update on that.
Yeah, and
by the way, it is very funny that Nelson Cruz is going into his age 41 season, and we're already just penciling him in for 40 home runs and 130 RBIs.
Yeah, it is. It is. But, I mean, there's nothing to
prove shy away from.
Age has, gotten to him in any way so far.
Yeah, that we have every reason to believe it.
But I guess, if he's not completely sure on which NL teams or if NL teams are going to be able to grab him, go back to where he's been comfortable and has been succeeding. Go right back to Minnesota and join that pretty good lineup. And actually,
he virtually carried this offense last year.
Yeah. So now we get back into the question of, the best lineups in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
So probably number 1 and number 2 are, Yankees, White Sox.
I'm ready to put the Twins just as a team right up there with the White Sox, because I think it was kind of a foregone conclusion that the White Sox were the best team in the NL Central. I think that this move, the Cruz move, and the other one that we'll talk about later, there's much better reason to put the Twins possibly above the White Sox.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made now, especially because Cruz was extremely valuable to that team.
Mm-hmm.
I do like what the White Sox did with getting Lance Lynn, getting Liam Hendricks, and did they get anybody else in particular?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, so the adding rotation depth helped them out, but they did get rid of Dane Dunning as well, so it was more of just
But I mean, how
an
much could you
upgrade.
really expect out of him this year? Like he's still very young. He's still learning to develop. He's not even pitched a full season. If you're in win now mode, Lance Lynn is a better guy to have than Dane Dunning. And plus you're gonna have Kopech coming back this year.
Yep.
So that can almost be a replacement level Dane Dunning.
Yeah, and the Twins, they get back Cruz. They signed Simmons, which was the big deal of the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Your big deal.
A huge deal. And also they grabbed a reliever, just like the White Sox did. They grabbed the White Sox reliever right off the market, Alex Colomé, who was a finalist for AL reliever of the year.
I cannot believe the market on him wasn't as good.
What did he end up signing for?
I don't know, but he had an 0.81. He had an 0.81 ERA last year. I think it was a 1-year deal. It wasn't anything too big of a deal. Hold on. Okay, so it's a 1-year deal with a second-year option.
For how much?
They will pay him $5 million in 2021, and the Twins have a $5.5 million option for 2022, or they can pay a $1.25 million buyout.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of shows what teams think about relievers who had success in a 6-game season, but also
but he's had success.
He's had a good. Has a good reputation. Even
he's an all-star with the Rays.
2019 2.80 ERA.
He has a sub-3 career ERA in 400 innings pitched.
Yeah. And he's how old?
He is going into his age 32 season.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like with a guy like that, you're thinking 2 years, close to $10 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, but pretty weird. But a steal on the Twins end.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we did kind of think that the Twins were downgrading this year after non-tendering Eddie Rosario, but they look to be in a competitive situation now.
They do.
After getting both Cruz and Colomé.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that is looking to three-peat in the division. Also, when you look back at the couple playoff games they had, one of the games was lost in the 9th inning by the bullpen because they didn't really have I know Taylor Rogers is very good, but they didn't really have a solidified closer in that game.
Yeah.
So Alex Colomé definitely adds to that. They don't have to bring Sergio Romo in anymore.
Right.
So that's nice.
Yeah, and it's a good substitute, after they lost Trevor May as well.
Yep.
And Tyler, I remember Tyler Duffy had a good 2019. I'm not sure how it went.
And they lost Matt Whistler too.
In 2020. So yeah, very, very necessary move by the Twins.
This is a team that needed bullpen help.
Yeah, because they lost.
Tyler Duffy was very good this year as well. So was Tyler Clippard.
Yeah, it could have gone bad for them in the bullpen, but
it could have.
Alex Colomé is a good stopper, and closer experience definitely has value because there's something about the 9th inning where some guys can do it, some guys can't, and it might be a little old school to say, but to have a guy with the 9th inning experience is very, very big as well. You can't really put a number on it particularly. But yeah, Cruz and Colomé going to the Twins. They're before these deals, I was thinking maybe they'd have a tough time reaching the playoffs, but now they look like a formidable playoff roster once again.
I mean, this looks like a team that at least should make a wild card.
Yes. They do. And yeah, Twins, White Sox at the top looks like it should be a fun season-long AL Central battle. like it was last year. So anyway, there's a big trade
Yeah.
that happened. A lot of players. I don't know how big of a deal any of these were. Like
This is a minor deal that had a large just impact on just like baseball in general. Like a guy who I thought was going to be on a franchise for life gets traded. I'm kind of sad about it. I'm not gonna lie.
I was like, Elvis Andrus of all people
Yeah.
is getting traded by the Texas Rangers. And like, if this deal happened in like 2017, 2018,
I get it.
It would be a huge deal. But now it's kind of weird that it turned out this way. I think the Rangers might be trying to get rid of some money, but it's weird that he's going to the A's for that.
It is for Chris Davis and a prospect.
Yeah.
I mean, I like this move. I know this sounds very weird, but I do like this move from a Rangers perspective because I think realistically, Chris Davis is going to add more value on the field in 2020 and 2021 than Elvis Andrus would have. And the Rangers are a team that really only have a couple guys that have some kind of trade value, particularly Joey Gallo. So Chris Davis, if he can stay healthy and if he can get somewhat back to that 2018 form where he hit 48 home runs, that's a guy you can flip at the deadline to get some prospects that are better than, Elvis Andrus in the future.
Yeah, he definitely has like him being on a short-term sort of setting gives him an advantage, for teams to take a risk on him. But, he's struggled over the past 2 years, I believe. Had an extremely good 2018. That was his headline year. But yeah, it was when that came across my Twitter feed, I was like, what the heck? What is going on here? I have no idea what this is. What is this? It
was definitely confusing because like it's two guys who seemingly like were faces of their franchise.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, I mean,
like on a more I don't want to say Elvis Andrus was a short-term face of the Rangers because like, Adrian Beltre was obviously, better. Nelson Cruz was better. Like he was never the best player on the Rangers, but he was always just a guy. I mean, he was on the 2010 Rangers that we covered. That was his rookie season, I think.
Yeah.
Either that or his sophomore season.
And like a good defender, I'm pretty sure, like from what I remember, I believe he's a good defender. Yeah, good defender. He's I hate to go through all the cliches, gets on base, he can hit a single for you, good at the top of the lineup, has speed, but he's fallen off over the past couple of years as well. So I don't know, maybe it's a thing where two guys changed their scenery and maybe they changed their career a little bit.
I mean, Oakland desperately needed a shortstop because Marcus Semien obviously left. They missed out on Didi. They missed out on Tommy La Stella. They missed out on Semien, of course. They missed out on Freddie Galvis. They had so many options. They didn't get any of them. So I guess this is going to be their starting shortstop in 2021.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And like, what happened to Jurickson Profar?
He's on the Padres.
Yes. So yeah, he's not on the A's any longer.
He's not.
Yeah, it's going to be weird seeing Andrus in the green and gold.
It is.
Like it
would have been cool for him to be a Ranger for life, but oh well.
And it would have made plenty of sense. I mean, he made
09 was his rookie year. Okay.
He gave like, him and Beltre him and Beltre's relationship.
They were like the most, like they had the most fun relationship in the whole league.
Yeah. And, now we're looking at, now it kind of caps off the, I'm pretty sure that, now they don't have anyone from the 2011, 2010.
Oh, they definitely don't.
At this point. So
there's no way in hell.
So that caps off that sort of era. Unfortunately for them. Yeah, it was weird. Like Elvis Andrus is kind of like what Brett Gardner is to the Yankees. And it's weird to see him. It would like Gardner's not
Gardner's not going to Monument Park.
Yeah, he's not going to. Neither of them are going to be Hall of Famers, but it's weird to see them in different uniforms.
I don't do you think the Rangers retire his number?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, they were
Like, I think obviously, if we're going to compare those two, like, obviously the Rangers have a much better chance of retiring Elvis's number than the Yankees do Gardner's number, but different franchises, different rules. I don't know, 12 seasons with the Rangers, 1,700 hits, 300 bags, was part of, two of the two best teams in franchise history at age 21 and 22.
I'm now I got to see if they retired
Michael Young,
Young's
because if they retired him, I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
number retirement.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. He was number 10. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they retired Michael Young's number. They retired Nolan Ryan's number. He's obviously, a Hall of Fame pitcher, but he spent 5 years with the Rangers.
Yeah, but he has his number retired by almost every team he played for.
Yeah. I mean, everyone
3 of the 4.
Everyone except the Mets.
Yeah.
Who he even won a World Series for. But he spent 8 years with the Angels. He spent 8 years with the 9 years with the Astros. But he had some amazing seasons with the Rangers, as you can hear on part 1 of episode 80.
Wow.
Of what was that? That was the last time we did the show as the show to be named later, at least for a player. But yeah, it's very possible that he gets his number retired with the Rangers. Yeah, 12 years with that team. He made some memories for Rangers fans with him being with Beltre and making a positive contribution pretty much every year. But yeah, end of an era. It's gonna be so weird. It really will be weird to see him in
anything that's not the Rangers. It didn't matter where you go. It would always feel weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really that. That's really all that there is to say on that. It's not really a thing where it's going to change any of the teams' playoff chances. It's just it's a little bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of trade implications and I guess legacy implications on Elvis Andrus. It's kind of sad to see that happen. But last thing we'll get to before we close the book on this episode, the Brewers go ahead and get an interdivisional rival, former foe, now current second baseman, or not second baseman. Where's he going to play?
He's I don't know where he's going to play. He's going to hover around the middle infield. Has he played anywhere else? Let me see.
We'll see. But they signed Kolten Wong.
He sure did. He's never played shortstop or third. He's played left, center, right a couple times. He's probably going to be there. They might have to shift Keston Hiura to short.
Did he come up as a shortstop?
He might have. And they had Arcia. Kolten Wong came up as a second baseman.
Yeah.
He has always played there. I love this move. I think this might be one of the most underrated moves of the whole offseason. Kolten Wong has been under the radar, one of the better second basemen in the league. Since 2018, his 7.9 FWAR ranks 10th in the majors among qualifying second basemen, and his defensive rating on Fangraphs at 26.7, that ranks first among second basemen. So arguably, he is the best defensive second baseman in the league. And meanwhile, since 2018, he has an exact 100 OPS plus. So he'll give you, average consistency at the plate with excellent defense.
Yeah, and
that is a huge upgrade over what they had last year.
And he's a threat on the base paths as well. He's, strictly looking at the numbers, it's been sort of weird how his stolen base numbers have gone, because he had 20 in 2014, then 15 in 2015, and then it didn't get
above double digits until 3 years after that, and that's where he stole 24 bags and only got caught 4 times. So yeah, he's definitely a threat on the base paths. Red Sox fans will never forget his one miscue on the base paths. That's a fact. He's won a Gold Glove in the last 2 seasons, and he had MVP shares in 2019. So, the last full season he played, he got MVP votes.
Yeah, and a 108 OPS plus, 24 stolen bases. Yeah, 2019 he had a very good year. So it's hard to go off 2020, even though that was still pretty decent as well. Was able to accumulate 1.3 Baseball Reference WAR which is very good, very good for a 60-game season. What did he end up signing for? 2 years.
2 years. Don't know what.
2 years.
Wait.
Kolten Wong.
Pretty sure it says here. He signed for. Doesn't say. Never mind.
Kolten
Hasn't
Wong
updated yet.
deal. 2 years, 18 million.
Okay, so $9 million a year. Good move by David Stearns.
Yeah, it's just a question of where he will go or where the rest of the
I think they
Brewers
put
will
Keston
go.
at third or short rather. I don't know. I don't know how much they still believe in Orlando Arcia. He came up as a top 10 prospect, and he has never showed signs of a top 10 prospect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially offensively.
Yeah, my guess would be move Keston to short.
Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. And the Brewers have a history of not really caring where their defensive assets go. When they back in 2018,
Keston has never played anywhere other than second outside of DH or pinch hitter. So I don't know.
Like
they're gonna have to move one of them though.
2018 when they had Shaw at third, and then they just traded for Mike Moustakas.
Yep.
And then they moved Shaw to second.
The Brewers are notorious for not caring about infield defense.
It's just like, hey, do you want to play? All right, you're playing
over there.
You're playing up at a place where you haven't played since middle school, but you're gonna play there and you're gonna do your job there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does fly under the radar because he has great defense, and normally the guys with great defensive value get kind of overlooked. And
this team really could give the Cardinals a run for their money. I'm telling you, I really think they have a chance at it.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the years of a few key players.
Yep.
You need Yelich to be back.
You need Hero to show up.
Yeah, you
have Wong now, and you got two studs at the top of that rotation in Burns and Woodruff. The rest of it is kind of question marks, but you also have two studs in the bullpen with Hader and Williams to go along with some others as well. The bullpen as a whole is extremely underrated. But yeah, I mean, Brewers signed Kolten Wong, really good signing, underrated. I think he's going to fit in nicely in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's a team that was able to hover around 500 without their best player performing to his normal level.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get him back up on the horse in a division that's not very deep, that's a team that can contend, especially if you have a full year of whatever Corbin Burns was doing last year. Probably not to that extent, probably not a 1.99 ERA, but a full year of a good Brandon Woodruff. There's a recipe for potential success there, and having Wong at second base is going to help out. But yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this episode of Above Replacement Radio. If you want to follow, if you're the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is pretty much useless right now. All audio. It will be posted though, because see if it goes in the algorithm. You never know. Shout out to the one time I titled the video.
And there's a drive into deep left field. And it got 500 views.
Didn't know it would be a meme, and then it would get hundreds of views. It's the only one to get into the algorithm like that.
Yeah.
But it happened. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta. Follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran, and follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio. So we hope you enjoyed this news episode of Above Replacement Radio, and we hope to see you later this week on Thursday, where we're going to be talking about Mike Schmidt.